that money time. You gotta have that energy, that investor energy. Let's get into it. Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101, and today we'll be talking about GM. Now, for you guys who haven't known, GM actually grows $1 billion in one single year, and they operate in over 37 countries. See, you may not be a GM buyer. I mean, they have many brands under the GM. You got GMC, you got Chevy, to name a few. And the only two American car companies is GM and as well as Ford. Out of the two, I believe that GM will be and is more profitable than Ford. Now, this is not a comparison video, but nonetheless, if you had to decide between the two, I will pick GM with my money. Now, Ford is ticking around $13 a share. GM, unfortunately, for you guys who like the low stocks under $20, this stock is probably not for you because this stock is at $54 per share. So let's get into it. For you guys who are not familiar with GM, I don't know how, let's see how we can invest inside this particular stock. Now, over the course of the year, GM has been up 90% even in the pandemic, okay? Over the course of 5 years, they've been up 75%, as I said before, 90% in the last year. 3 months, they've been down almost 4% the past month, almost down 8% the past week, down 2%, and then today, they're currently up in the aftermarket. This is the time to buy GM. This is the time to buy GM while they are down. At one particular point, if we look in the past year, if we look at, let's look at the peak here, GM was all the way up to $62 roughly. Okay, so we're gonna invest in this stock at a discount. And again, I'm just gonna read a little bit of this for you guys who've been living in a cave or under a rock. GM engages in the designing, manufacturing, and selling of cars, trucks, and as well as automobiles. It also provides automotive financing services through GM Financial Company. The firm operates through the following segments. Listen to this, because GM is worldwide. GM North America, GM International, Cruise, and GM Financial. The company sells vehicles under the Chevrolet, Cadillac, Bon John, that's down there in Australia. They make these real functional outdoor vehicles. The Biogen, I don't know the proper name, Buick, GMC, Holden, Jeff Fang, Wuling, because some of these names I know I'm butchering, but a lot of these brands, especially the last 2 or 3, they actually sell those vehicles in China. China is GM's #1 consumer of vehicles, by the way. And don't forget, China has over 1 billion people, comparison to America at 330 million. I mean, we're only a third of China. Think about that. General Motors was founded by William C. Durant. Now, GM has over 155,000 employees that mostly operate out of Detroit, Michigan. And of course, GM is hundreds of years old. At around 1908 is when they first started the company. If you invest in this particular stock, the dividends are around 91.91%. So let's just round up to 1%. But you're only going to receive around 38 cents per share. Now, hot news for GM, how automakers like Ford and GM are re-imaging the future of car buying, okay? We're not going to stay here. We're going to move on. Now, as you can tell here that the EPS of GM, which is a great indicator if the stock is doing well or the stock is actually operating a debt. GM is doing very, very well when it comes to their financials. They're doing very, very well. Okay, I remember having a GM. I had me a Chevy Malibu. I didn't have a great experience with that Chevy Malibu, but I would buy a Chevy truck. I believe that Chevy makes really nice trucks. Of course, more people in America, as you can tell, driving around, more people drive the Ford F-150 pickup trucks. But nonetheless, when you're talking about dividends for GM, you're going to only get around 38 cents per share, which is absolutely nothing. I mean, literally pennies. Now, the performance, when we look at year to date, is 30%. That's really good. I like for all of my stocks to be over 20%, so they're right in that threshold. On the past year, they have been up roughly 94%. So that's pretty good. And when it comes to market watch, the analysts say here, buy. I agree 1,000%. Let's go over to Market Watch. Now, as you can tell here, from 2 weeks all the way to 9 months, ladies and gentlemen, I'm right here. We see that it says long term. Again, we're talking about long term investing, ladies and gentlemen, and you will see a good return on your money. Okay? And we understand there's always risk in investing, but more times than not, when you invest in solid companies with solid financial, with solid innovation, solid planning, that you will get a good return on your money. As you can tell to your far left right here under fair value, we see that Yahoo has it as undervalued. Again, buy low, sell high. These are the stocks that you want to buy. See, a lot of times we think about the stock price and we're not thinking about the stock potential. There's so many things that we buy off potential. Okay, you go out and you buy yourself a brand new Cadillac with the potential of it being a reliable vehicle and you looking really good in it. You get into a relationship and you thinking this has potential to become marriage. We do a lot of things off potential. Just keep that in focus. Keep that in mind, okay? But nonetheless, I believe that this will be a really good stock later on, and you should invest in it now before it blows up, okay? Again, one of the hot stories, how GM is going to make over 12 to 13 new electric cars, okay? 12 to 13 new electric cars. Let's go over to Zach's. Right now, you see the current stock price is $54.26. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, on platforms like Robinhood and WeBull, you don't have to go and invest $54. You can invest $10, $20, $30. So you can still get in on this stock. So don't let that deter you from investing. Now, Zach's rank is hold 3. I disagree with that. I believe that this is a buy. But they did get the style scores correctly. A for value, I agree. D for growth. In its current state, that is correct. Momentum is a C with an overall VGM score as a B. I do agree with the style scores. I do not agree with the Zach's rank. I believe that this is a buy, okay? I believe that this is a strong buy because, again, you want to buy it low. And, again, a lot of these analysis are what the current rankings are, not the futuristic investment that you should make so your money can exponentially grow over the course of time, okay? So you have to look at that as well. Now I'm going to wait to give you the stock forecast. This is going to blow you off your rocker right here. But I will go right to one of the main stories that GM will have 12 electric vehicles soon. Okay, and one of these electric vehicles will be a Hummer, will be a Cadillac, and also one of their really small vehicles. They call this one the Chevy Bolt. If you guys can recall, one of the first hybrids that GM came in was a Chevy Volt, okay? But now the GM Hummer, I'm slightly confused with the picture that I saw here. First and foremost, we're gonna go over the Cadillac right here. And it says right here that the first one we know most about is the Cadillac Liquid SUV, the first EV from GM Luxury Band, okay? So this looks like a really sleek, futuristic vehicle. I absolutely love the design. I mean, I have nothing ill or negative to say about this vehicle. It absolutely looks phenomenal. I can't say, I mean, of course, they probably did some brushing of the painting of the picture and some polishing, but nonetheless, it looks very well, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Now, this is the picture that has me kind of scratching my head because I'm looking at GMC and I'm seeing the GMC Hummer. Is this a GMC Hummer pickup truck? Because you have to understand, GM and Ford are always going back and forth, but this is not the Hummer that we're used to seeing, but they are trying to compete with Ford because we understand Ford has the Ford Lightning that's coming out. So they have to compete with that particular vehicle, okay? And as you can tell, a lot of them are taken after the Tesla with the hiding of the door handles here. So we're looking at the future, ladies and gentlemen, and they absolutely look grand. Now, unfortunately, this is a Chevy Bolt. I mean, I guess if you guys are in love with your smart cars, then you can go over here and buy a Chevy Bolt. I'm an admirer, but I'm definitely won't be a buyer. Not at all. I couldn't even fit in this vehicle. But anyway, as you can tell right here, this last story, how that Chevy is getting its own electric truck to actually rival the Ford F-150. So we need to keep that in mind. And for you guys who are not familiar with how many countries that you will be investing in, essentially when these companies have these products, right, and they're operating worldwide, look at the potential for growth in those markets who are now thinking about buying electric vehicles. Now, America, we're one of the most stubborn countries. We love our fossil fuel vehicles for whatever reason, but we're not like the rest of the world. So when you think about investing, your mind has to be transcended, and you have to be an international investor in the way you think in a company that's operating internationally. So countries like China, they're the number one consumer of vehicles, right behind the U.S. So when we look at this, it says right here that China was the largest single target market for General Motors in 2020. During the 2020 fiscal year, the Detroit company and its associations, some sold 2.9 million motor vehicles to consumers in China, the world's largest automobile market, meaning they buy the most automobiles. So that's very, very important that we understand who we are actually catering to. And believe it or not, companies like NIO and Xpeng are operating in China, and Chevy is trying to get in on that. Okay, Chevy's trying to get on that because for some reason they're selling like hotcakes in China. These Chevys are GM is selling like hotcakes in China, and there's over 1 billion something people in China, so the market is absolutely huge. And last but not least, what you absolutely want to see is the forecasted amount for GM. This is coming from tipranks.com, and what it's showing you here right now on the low at $53 per share. We're already at 53%, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, $53 per share. Right now, GM is at $54 per share with an average, okay, they're talking about the average price of GM will be $73 per share. That's that huge number that you see right here. But the one number I want you to see, because we're thinking about potential, is the $90 high forecasted amount. Can I blow this up for you, family? This is the $90 forecasted amount right here. So this has the potential of reaching $90 per share, but they're saying on an average, it's going to at least make $73. So you're going to make at least $20-something on your investment. And this is a strong buy when it comes to these analysts on this particular website. And also you can see down below, the average price target is $73 with a highest price target of $90. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. You get the potential for growth either up to $70 to $90 per share, and you get some measly pennies when it comes to your dividends, but you're still getting extra money on top of the potential for growth for this particular stock. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. And I may not be a driver, GM, but I'm sure going to think about investing very, very strongly. You guys have a great, wonderful day. I'm out.